Okay, I think I'm live. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes and see if anybody jumps on. But anyways, happy Saturday, Fit Fam. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday and you have some fun stuff planned for this weekend. So anyways, I just wanted to come on today. I did a Facebook Live yesterday and I just feel like it did not go well. I feel like I was just kind of all over the place. One of my biggest fears is public speaking. So this is really pushing myself out of my comfort zone. But I really wanted to come on today, just talk keto for you, talk about some tips that I have, and just especially tell you my story, and kind of my history and where I'm at today and how I've gotten here and all that fun stuff. So if you're watching, say hello. Jess, I think I see you, so hello. Welcome. Any questions that you guys have too as I'm talking and going through the spiel. Oh wait, shoot, I didn't mean to hit that. Just feel free to ask. So, a little bit about me in case you don't know me. My name is Courtney Harris. I am the administrator for Adventures in Keto. Why did I start this group? I started this group because of that saying, do what you love. And I love and I'm obsessed with health and fitness and nutrition. So my goal is really to, help inspire like-minded men and women. And, even if I can help change one life, that's going to be success for me. So anyways, I wanted to just, like I said, jump on, tell you a little bit about my story. I have been keto now for 1.5 years, a little over 1.5 years. But before that, I really got into fitness about 8 years ago. That's actually when I first stepped foot into a gym. Actually, let me back up. I started working out in high school, but it was like at-home workouts, and it was really basic. I never stepped foot in a gym. But once I actually went to a gym and I saw that environment, I think that's what hooked me. That's what got me really passionate and almost obsessed with it. And also, I've struggled with digestive issues my entire life. I know you've seen me write that before. I'm not going to get into the lovely details of what that is, but it was really tough. It got to the point to where it was just an inconvenience. When it came to traveling or being away from home, it would create this anxiety in me. And it was really stressful. So when I started to get into health and fitness, I tried every fad diet out there, just to see what would work for me. And I had a goal that I was working towards. I mean, there was a time where I was going to the gym twice a day, doing 2-a-days, and just killing myself in the gym. And I really started to compare myself, to these fitness models and just really get discouraged and wonder, why am I not there? So about 1.5 years ago, I was introduced to a podcast, and that's when I first learned about the ketogenic diet. And I learned of all the benefits that come with a state of ketosis. Some of them, just to mention, energy, mood, focus, weight loss, food cravings subside. I mean, the list goes on. Not only that, but the ketogenic diet, it's a cancer fighter. It fights diseases. It can reverse type 2 diabetes. It can reverse insulin resistance. So I am so passionate about this diet because it's literally changed my life, and I've watched it change the lives of others. So if you're in this group, if you don't know what the ketogenic diet is, please feel free to ask as many questions as you need to. But the ketogenic diet is a low-carb, high-fat, moderate protein diet. I personally increase my protein. I follow more of a cyclic ketogenic diet versus a standard ketogenic diet because my goal might be a little bit different than what your goal is. And my goal is to build more muscle, and with that, I need additional protein. So anyways, when I was listening to this podcast and I started hearing all of the amazing benefits that come with it, I just said, why not? It's worth a shot for me. I need to try something else in my life and see if it helps me. So I dove in. I dove straight in. July 27th, 2016 is when I jumped in full force. At that time, I had one book. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't follow any groups. I wish I would have, because I think it would have made the transition a lot easier for me. But when I made the jump, it was tough. It was really tough. So we as a population, we have been consuming carbohydrate-rich diets for our entire lives. At least I know I have. And when you're ingesting carbohydrates and sugars and everything like that, your primary fuel source is glucose. It's sugar. So a lot of people, when you hear them talk about the keto diet, they're saying, well, that's not your primary fuel source. Glucose is. Well, that's right. And it's because we've conditioned our bodies to run off of glucose and sugar versus run off of fat. So when we're first transitioning from being a sugar burner to a fat burner, we can get something that's called keto flu. And the keto flu is real. It's real. And I think it differs for every body. Everybody is different. Some people can handle it and they say, oh, I don't have any symptoms. And some people, it's horrible. So some symptoms that come with the keto flu is obviously flu-like symptoms. Nausea, headaches, low energy was the biggest one that I noticed for me. So I wanted to come on today and talk to you. First of all, if you haven't considered the ketogenic diet, I want to put a bug in your ear and maybe just have you think and say, okay, because when you're first starting out, man, it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming because I will never forget when I first started the keto diet, me and my daughter, I have a beautiful 14-year-old daughter. We were going to have a pool day. And so I wanted to bring a ton of snacks and be able to snack when I was there. So I took her to, I think it was Whole Foods. Yeah, I think we went to Whole Foods. And I just remember going through the aisles and the snacks, and I was just so depressed. I was turning over everything and looking at the carbs and the fiber. And at that time, I didn't even know that the ketogenic diet was net carbs. So I was just strictly going off of my carbohydrates and thinking, I pretty much can't even eat all day long. Like, this is so depressing. So even she was with me, and we were literally turning everything over, looking at the ingredients and saying, okay, I can't have this. Long story short, I ended up getting some, I think, beef jerky and some seaweed wraps. So when you're first starting out, it can be really overwhelming, but use the resources that are out there and piggyback with those who've been there and done that to help get you through it. And that's when a lot of people stop. A lot of people stop when they're going through that transition, when they're going from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. That transition, when you get the keto flu, it's tough. It's really tough. And a lot of people get really motivated in the beginning because when you're first starting out, when you restrict your carbs, your insulin levels drop dramatically, okay, which causes your body to start excreting sodium and water through your urine. So a lot of people in the first 1 to 2 weeks will experience a dramatic drop in their weight, but what they don't realize is that that's water weight. And then they'll hit a plateau and just say, okay, and I think that's when a lot of people quit. That's when a lot of people say, okay, I'm done, I don't want this anymore. But that's when you need to keep going. That's when you need to keep going, because that is when you are getting closer and closer to being fat adapted, keto adapted. I'll get into that too, but for sake of argument, I'm going to call it keto adapted. So we'll get into that. But I wanted to talk about keto flu and some things that you can do to help combat those symptoms. Water. I mean, as much water as you can drink, because your body is shedding all of that extra water weight. You need to be putting in more than what you're putting out, if that makes sense. I say start with a minimum of 2 gallons per day. Start with 2 gallons per day and see what that does for you. See if that helps. Another great one, you're going to hear me talking about it. So there's a lot of controversy when it comes to exogenous ketones. My personal experience, they have absolutely changed my life, along with the ketogenic diet. So let me back up. 8 months or a year and a half ago, started the keto diet. I didn't start taking exogenous ketones until 9 months into that journey. Once I started taking it, and I got it through some random company I found online. I tried so many brands out there. But when I started taking them, that is when my body literally transformed. I don't like to sell them as a weight loss supplement because I feel like a lot of people love the lazy route. Dieting is hard. I mean, shit, let's just cut to the chase. Dieting is hard and it sucks. And if people are able to take a pill or take something and they think it's magic and it's just going to make the weight drop off, I was right there with them. I wanted to try and instead of putting in the effort and making changes, I wanted to just take something and have the weight fall off. Well, exogenous ketones will help you with weight loss, but if you piggyback them with a ketogenic diet, you are going to see the most benefits. And that's what's happened to me. So when I started taking them, I had a goal weight when I first began. Up until that 9-month mark, I had dropped, I want to say 5 pounds. And for me, 5 pounds was a good amount. But once I started taking my exogenous ketones, I dropped another 10 pounds, got to my goal weight within 2 months. So within 2 months, I got to where I wanted to be. On top of that, they were a game changer for me and my sessions in the gym. If you don't know me, I'm a workout person. I'm going to slowly start integrating my fitness onto the page. So if there's stuff you guys want to see too, like let me know. Let me know what you want to see. And I'm going to start partnering with others too and sharing all of these fitness ideas. So anyways, but they absolutely were a game changer for me in the gym. And on top of that, they helped energy. They helped me sleep better. They helped curb my appetite even more than the ketogenic diet did. So exogenous ketones are huge, especially when you're first beginning the ketogenic diet. They especially help with those flu-like symptoms. So currently, I shouldn't say currently, how should I say this? Before exogenous ketones, because they are a new technology, Prove It, the company that I promote for, was a pioneer. They were the first to come out with them. Where was I going with that thought? It's like as I'm getting older, I'll have a thought in my head and I can literally see it just fluttering away. But exogenous ketones, so they absolutely were a game changer for me in the gym. They helped me sleep better. They helped my food cravings. So I'm a big promoter of them, and I absolutely love them. So if you get sick of hearing about them, I'm sorry. I'm sharing my own personal story and what they've done for me. And if that can inspire and hopefully change somebody else's life, then that, again, to me is success. So again, water, exogenous ketones, and then supplementing. Now, along with the sodium that's excreted through your urine when you're first transitioning from being a sugar burner to a fat burner, you excrete also some other important micronutrients, which are magnesium, potassium. So I might recommend supplementing those or getting those in your diet through the foods that you're eating. So water, exogenous ketones, supplementing with potassium, magnesium, calcium. It's another huge one. Bone broth. Bone broth is phenomenal. I'm going to do a Facebook Live and hopefully show you how I make it. Maybe I won't do a live because it's a long process, but I'll make a video and show you how I make my own homemade bone broth. But bone broth especially has a ton of electrolytes, which is another thing that we are depleted in when we start a ketogenic diet. And just so you know, like the basics, I'm going to really try to simplify this. So when you eat, let's say if you eat a candy bar or you eat a piece of bread, okay, that bread, that carb, that sugar turns to glucose in our blood, which is used as an energy source, okay? If you don't burn that energy, if you don't use that energy, it is going to be stored as glycogen in your muscles and in your liver. So when you're first doing the keto diet and you're going from transitioning from a normal diet, from a sugar burner to a fat burner, your body is going to be in total chaos and not know what's going on. And your body has to first burn through your glycogen stores before it can start burning through your stored fat. So that's why a lot of people hit that plateau. The first couple weeks, they'll drop a ton in water weight, and then 2 weeks later, hit a plateau. That's because they're not quite yet into burning their fat stores. But once you get there, That's when the benefits come, and that's when I get so excited. I'm to the point now, I've been ketogenic for a year and a half, that I'm able to manipulate my diet a little bit more. I have a little bit more wiggle room to have carbs. It's easier and quicker for my body to get into ketosis. Also with exogenous ketones. As soon as you consume them, your body goes into a state of ketosis within 1 hour. Before exogenous ketones, the only way to achieve a state of ketosis was through carbohydrate restriction. So that's why I'm so excited about these too. So now that I have a little bit more wiggle room in my diet, I'm able to drink my ketones and be right back into a state of ketosis. So does that kind of explain the keto flu and all of that? Say hello if you're on here. I'm really bad at talking and reading at the same time. So if you're asking questions, I'll probably have to pause. But say hello, drop me a like. If you're watching this as a replay, write replay, say hello. Yeah, and welcome all you new members. I'm so excited to have more people on here. So exciting. So anyways, that's a little bit about the keto flu and why we experience it. I hope I simplified it. I hope it makes it a little bit more understandable. I know, especially a close friend of mine, she's really confused about, okay, well, what's keto adapted and what's ketosis? Ketosis is the state. Ketosis, I'm getting a call. Let me decline. Hold on. Okay. Think of ketosis as the final state. And being in a state of ketosis, the benefits are insane, okay? I think I've already mentioned some, but curbs your appetite. It's a mood enhancer, helps with your focus, helps with your weight loss, helps with energy. It reduces, again, like I said, when you're eating carb-filled processed foods, it creates oxidative stress in our body, which creates inflammation, which a lot of diseases, that's where they come from. So when you're lowering that inflammation, you are literally fighting off these diseases. So does that make sense to you guys? I hope it does. But I wanted to come on today, share my story, and encourage you to just keep going. I know it's not easy. I know dieting sucks and it's hard. And especially the ketogenic diet when you're first starting, it can be really overwhelming, okay? And especially if you're going through keto flu. Exercise is another great thing to help you get through keto flu symptoms. It's just going to help use up your energy stores, your glycogen, burn those up so that you can start using fat as your primary fuel source. So go and just keep kicking ass and keep getting out there and giving it your all, because I am to the point now where I can honestly say I am the healthiest I've ever been. I've never felt so better. I sleep at night. That's one of the huge things I was talking about earlier is when I wasn't on the ketogenic diet, I was having to eat every 2 to 3 hours, and I was always starving. I was always hungry, always hungry. And I was eating healthy foods. I was eating oatmeal and things like that, fruits. I used to juice every single morning. Every single morning I had a juice, green drink that I used to make every single morning. That was the hardest part for me to give up. And a lot of people, I think, get concerned about being on the ketogenic diet. I know I've done a video before and told you about some big keto mistakes, which is people come on the ketogenic diet and say, oh, great, here's my excuse to eat a ton of red meat, to eat a ton of unhealthy fats, and eat a ton of cheese and low quality meats. That's not what keto is. That's not what keto is. But I know a lot of times when people are starting the ketogenic diet, Jess, are worried because they have to restrict a lot of the vegetables that they're used to putting into their bodies. So there's companies out there that make, green supplements. So if you're concerned, I might recommend getting a supplement so you can supplement your greens and make sure that you're getting all your nutrients that way. But for myself, I eat a ton of salads and vegetables, and I mean daily. I have my own garden during the summer, so I know that I'm getting all of the micronutrients that I need to fuel my body with what I need. But if you're on keto, if you're considering doing keto, all I can say is for me, it was the best decision I've ever made on my health and fitness journey. This diet has changed my life. I am excited to start sharing stories of others who it has changed their life for. So if you have questions, keep asking. There's so many knowledgeable people in this group. Keep sharing your ideas. Thank you for being here. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Do you guys have any questions? I think I only see 2 people on here. But I don't see any questions or likes or anything. So I'll close up shop for right now. If you have any questions later on, feel free to ask. And especially if you have any ideas, if there's things that you want to see, let me know. Let me know as well. So anyways, guys, have a great Saturday. I got to figure out how to stop the video.